What happened to the tweeter controls on my speaker? I've been robbed. Ed from East Tennessee writes to me and he says, hey, Paul, when I was younger, during the Middle Ages, almost all speakers had back panel adjustments for the tweeter and or the mid-range output. This seemed like a really good idea to help match the speakers to the listener's preference in the room acoustics. Why has this feature almost completely disappeared? And note, I have seen several external resistors on some high-end speakers, but those are very costly units. Yeah, well, back in my day, all of them seem to have it, especially Infinity. Now, every Infinity speaker that I've ever owned, including the ones that I currently own, have an adjustment on the back. And Arnie Nudell, who, the founder of Infinity and my former partner, he was adamant about that. And when we build our speakers, the new AN series, even the new Stellar series, which will be our affordable, we're going to try and get them out for like $3,000 for the pair, which will be neat. You will find controls on the back because maybe it's just a holdover from the Arnold from Infinity, but I believe speakers should have controls, and I don't understand why people don't do that anymore. My guess is a couple of things. One, L-pads, well, they're not cheap. A good L-pad that you want to have on the back for a control it's going to add to the cost of the speaker, and companies seem to have been on these kicks to try and cut everything they can, make them look real pretty, but take out. I've seen crossovers go from these gorgeous, beautifully handcrafted, gorgeous capacitors to not so nice. Why? Well, people don't normally know what a good crossover looks like and what's in a good crossover. So if the customer don't see it and the speaker sounds okay and it looks real pretty like on the outside, then that's good enough for us and we're going to sell speakers. I've been in meetings with companies that I won't mention names who said, look, it's not going to make one iota of difference for selling units, so why would we spend extra money? And there's a thing, I don't like that attitude. We don't have it here. I don't support it. I remember a story about Apple founder Steve Jobs, and one of those stories, I don't know, there's tons of stories, but one of them that impressed me a lot about Steve is that he would just obsess over how neat and tidy the circuit boards were on the bottom of the circuit board. If you look at a circuit board, there's all these traces, these copper traces, and it's an art to get those all, perfectly aligned up and beautiful. And we spend a lot of time doing it ourselves for reasons other than just pride, but we do have a lot of pride in it. And Steve had a lot of pride in it. And he spent a ton of money doing them over and over again until they met his standards for perfection. And the story goes that one of his financial guys, as they were losing money, this is way back in the start of Apple, why? I mean, nobody is going to see the bottom of the board. No one will ever appreciate it. And Steve said, I will. I will appreciate it. And that's all that matters. So I've always taken that philosophy that in anything that I do, or anything that PS Audio does, we do it with pride. We do it because it's the right thing to do. And so I just have never ascribed, and I don't know how I got off onto that rant. But anyway, I think it was around the 90s, the late 90s, the early 2000s, I started seeing speakers coming out with the idea that you don't need control because what we're producing is already perfect. There was some notion like that, and I think, once they got more mass production, the controls just started going away, and now you don't find speakers with them anymore. You will on ours. because I agree with you. Okay. Thanks for the question. I'll talk to you tomorrow.